All right, so let's make sure the sound is good. Whoop, whoop. All right, so we'll get started here in a sec. Okay, 4:30. All right, let's get started. I'm gonna look at Bitcoin first. If you guys have any requests, let me know. I'll wait for a few more seconds for people to join because they did just start it. So looking at the daily chart though for Bitcoin, let me get set up here. So right now on the daily chart for Bitcoin, if you break 48.5, our next stop is going to be 50K. If you break 50K, the next stop is the 618, or at least the next major target. I guess right now you're at the 382 fib on the daily chart at 47.8. The next target is the 0.5 fib at 51.530, but I don't think that'll be hard to get through. The 618 is really what I would like to get through on the 3-day chart in the weekly scale, which is at $55,443. If we close a daily candle above that level, I think that confirms Bitcoin's going back to 69K and then gonna put in a new all-time high. If you close a daily candle above 55.4, we'll call it. So that's kind of what's on the table now. Short term though, I'm looking for $48,000. If 48.5, I should say. If you break above that, 50K is on the table. And then you can be looking for the 0.5 fib at 51.630, and then the 618 all the way up here at 54. What is it? 55. Hold on. 55.4 is what I said for the 618. So that's what that's what Bitcoin's looking like. Short term, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. One thing I do want to bring into notice is the Fear and Greed Index is at 60, and that changes, I think, in about an hour and a half. It updates then at least. So be careful. It's getting to fear. It's not, or greed. It's not in extreme greed yet, but be careful. You might want, if you're in profit, take some profits on some trades, or think about it at least, or move your stop up in profit, because we will probably due for a pullback here really soon, but we might rally to 50K before we get any sort of major pullback, and that's probably what will happen. So that's kind of what's on the table for Bitcoin. If we go and look at how the RSI is looking, the 15-minute chart on Bitcoin is actually reset completely. The 1-hour chart is neutral, and the 4-hour chart is currently overbought, so be careful, and the daily chart is overbought. So it's up there on the bigger time frame, so just be careful, guys, trading. If you were to go back down to the downside, the next stop would be 47K, and then below that 43K. So technically we're closer to support than resistance, but I do think we're going to push up to 50K before we have a major pullback. So that's how that's looking. I am in 2 trades right now. Let me show you the 2 trades I'm in. I'm currently in MIR coin. So we had a falling wedge to the downside on the daily chart, and I'm going to zoom into the 4-hour chart so you guys can really see it. But that's where I charted it. Right now you're right at resistance at 180. If you break above 180, honestly the next resistance after that is going to be 207. Actually, I don't know where I got, hold on, let me look at this again. 207. Yeah, so on the daily chart you had resistance at $2.07. If you break above that, you're looking at $2.71, and then my ultimate target for this trade is the third resistance line at $3.18. If you get above that, then that's awesome, but I'll personally be taking profits around the 318 level. Currently that's almost 100% move now. It's not quite. 174 divided by 318. That's okay, from here it's a 55% move to the upside. But yeah, right now we're at $1.74. I'm targeting $3.18 on MIR. I have 3,000 in that trade. I think right now I'm up like 2 or 3% on that. So the other trade I was in is I put more money into APE. Let's see how APE's doing. I got in at 14.90 last night. Currently at 14.93, so at break even right now. I bought it because I saw on the 15-minute chart we were in a falling wedge. That never really played out on the 15-minute chart, but now that I'm looking at the 1-hour chart, we're in another falling wedge on a bigger time frame, so I'm still really bullish on it. My ultimate target is $23 for this trade, which I don't know, that'll probably take a few weeks to happen as well. But the next resistance line is 1550. That's where you got stopped, or that's kind of where you topped out the other day. If you get above that, my next target is 1636. And the target for this falling wedge, if it were to play out here on the 4-hour chart, would still be, let's see, the target would still be upwards of $16.70, or very close to that. And I had a fib level for 1635. So it's looking pretty good right now for APE coin. Just give it some time. Patience pays off, and have your stop and profit if you can, because like I said, right now we're in greed, and when we're in greed, be careful. So if you guys have any requests, let me know. But that's the two coins that I wanted to look at, was Mirror Coin and APE coin. NCT was another one I wanted to look at, because now this is a rising wedge, so it's more likely it's going to break to the downside than the upside. That's why I am not currently in this trade on NCT. By the way, if you guys want to watch me on YouTube, it's Crypto Boss Andrew on YouTube. That way you can see the charts. And if you guys are new, I appreciate if you like and subscribe. But let me look at NCT. So NCT right now is in a rising wedge to the upside, which is actually a bearish pattern. On the 4-hour chart is where I charted it. It's due to break out on March 30th around 1600, but it's probably it usually breaks out before that. And my guess is 68% of the time these break up to the break down to the downside in a rising wedge. In a falling wedge, it breaks up to the a falling wedge is bullish. A rising wedge is usually bearish, 68% of the time. So technically, this rising wedge is a bearish pattern. That's why I did not enter the trade. It would be bullish though if you broke. Well, let me do the fibs on this first. So from the last major local high to the last local high the other day on NCT was 5.589 cents, and then the major local low after you had that capitulation up, the major local low was 381 basically, or 3.8 cents. 3.78 cents. So right now the 236 fib is currently at 4.23 cents, and the 382 fib is the next target to the upside. If you break above 4.5 cents, I think that would confirm that you're actually moving up and that you broke bullishly out of this pattern. If you break to the downside, I think a move below 3.7 would confirm the pattern broke to the downside, which is more likely to play out. Usually it breaks to the downside in a rising wedge, 68% of the time. So that's more likely to happen, but I'm not in a trade right now because I don't want to be in a trade until I see it actually breaks to the upside, and that's less likely than, it's more likely breaks to the downside. I'm probably not explaining that very well, but technically NCT is in a rising wedge, so I decided to stay away from it. But that is one I'm definitely keeping an eye on, because if it does break to the upside, I would like to take a breakout trade on this above 4.5 cents. So I'm actually going to put an alert here at 4.5 cents on NCT. If you break above that, I think you're breaking to the upside, and that'd be a good time to get in for a breakout trade. So is ETH headed for 4K? Well, let's look. I'll go to the 3-day chart. I mean, the short answer is definitely yes. The next fib that you just got, well, actually you got rejected off of the fib at 34.11. We're at 33.79. So 34.11 was a 382 fib, got rejected off that. The next fib, if you broke that though, would be the 0.5 fib. That's at 36.88. If you're above the 618 fib at 39.48, close the daily candle above that, I think that confirms that Ethereum is going to make a new all-time high. Although I believe Bitcoin's going to 100 to 140K this year. So with Ethereum, so if Bitcoin is going to do that, my prediction was Bitcoin or Ethereum is going to go to 10 to 15K this year. So I'm bullish on Ethereum. I'm bullish on crypto overall for this year. What we're in right now is an extended cycle for a bull run. That's what I believe we're in right now. So Ethereum is short answer is yes. Long answer is it might be a month before we see 4K. But honestly, that'd only be a 20% move to the upside, so it could happen in a few days on Ethereum. If within 2 to 3 weeks Ethereum's at 4K, I would not be surprised. If Bitcoin gets to 50K, Ethereum's probably at least going to get to the 0.5 fib, which is at 36.80. Now, before we get a major pullback, do we hit 4K? It's unlikely, but it's not out of the question because, again, it's only 20% higher. So I think Ethereum's definitely hitting 4K this year, probably within the next 30 days at most. But that's just my bullish prediction. Remember, if Bitcoin gets to 50K, there's probably going to be a major pullback, at least to 47K, maybe below that 43K. I don't see us going below 43K again on Bitcoin until we hit a bear market. So appreciate the likes. So that's Ethereum looking bullish to me. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. But we went through APE coin, we went through Ethereum, we went through Bitcoin, we went through Mirror coin and NCT. So did APE just fell off? So APE's right now at 14. What's it, APE? 1473. It just had a big wick down. Let me look at the 15-minute chart. Yeah, so just had a wick down. Technically, it's still in the falling wedge that I had drawn here. It just had a wick below it. But if it goes any lower than 1470, that's extremely bearish. And also the 236 fib I have right here on ApeCoin at 1475. So technically, unless you lose 1475, you're still bullish on Ape. But you did have a wick down to 1471. So definitely keep an eye on it. If you lose 1475, that could mean that the falling wedge is actually going to play out to the downside and not to the upside, which I was betting on the fact is going to play to the upside. So be careful. Watch out for Ape. I think that could be about to break down if you go any lower than 1475. So that's kind of that for ApeCoin. So yeah, so that's it for ApeCoin. Like I said, I'm in a trade from 1490 in Ape. I'm gonna watch this really closely. If you lose 1475, I might put my stop at 1460 or 1470 on an Ape. Not financial advice, but that's what I might do because we'll see if we get the bounce here. Though it's good. I don't even think I have a stop in on Ape right now, which I usually do. I should, but on Ape, I don't think I have a stop in right now, and I need to put one in. And if I was going to put one in, it'd probably be around 1465 or 1470. So just watch for Ape right now. It's looking like it's about to break to the downside. So that's kind of all I got. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, that's all I got. Next time we will be live will be Friday, 4:30 p.m. Central Time. I think before we have a major correction down, though, going back to Bitcoin, I think 48.5 is going to happen, and then 50K, and then at 50K, you're probably going to have a pretty good retracement, at least to 47K, and then maybe 43K. I don't see us losing 43K until we're in a bear market, but that's just my opinion, so I could be wrong. Looking at the daily chart on Bitcoin, you are overextended on the RSI, and the 4 hour is overextended, and the 1 hour is neutral. So the bigger time frames are overextended, so just be careful on Bitcoin. Could have a small consolidation before you move up to 48.5, but we'll see what happens. With that being said, that's all I got. I'm going to end the TikTok stream, and I'll be live again Friday, 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Until then, trade safe. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys on Friday. So, okay. Yep, so if you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, that's all I got. I appreciate if you like and subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you guys on Friday, 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Until then, have a great week, trade safe, and